Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about useEffect, which this is a way that we perform side effects like data fetching or updating the DOM in React. So make sure to hit that subscribe button to don't miss the rest of our React crash course, and let's jump into the video. Now we got question of what is useEffect hook. UseEffect is a React hook that lets you perform side effects in functional components such as fetching data from an API, updating the DOM directly, or setting up event listeners or subscriptions. As you know, we have two types of components in React, which are functional components and class components. Class components has their own way of handling the side effects, like what we want to do when our component mounted or unmount or things like that. And by using this useEffect hook, we can do the same things in our functional components too. Now, the way we're going to use this useEffect is, of course, start with importing that from our React. And after we done that, the next step is going to be inside of our component's main function. And here we're going to use our useEffect. And the way we're going to use this is simply having this useEffect function called right here. And inside of this, we're going to do our stuff, which here we're going to have our arrow function here. And inside of this is the things that we want to run when our useEffect runs. But pay attention, after this function that we create here, we're going to have another array here too, which I'm going to explain to you what is this array. But this useEffect is going to run these codes right here. For example, let's say here we got the simple console log of test right here. Now, if we open our console right here and refresh our page, you can see we got this test right here. And pay attention, we got this again to run whenever we re-render our page. We cleared our console. If we reload again, we got these results. But what is this array that we got right here? Well, this is the thing that our application is going to tell our useEffect to run. What I mean is, when this is empty, it's going to run only when our component is mounted. But if, for example, we have some states here, let's say we're going to have this use state right here, and here at start, we're going to have this value of 0 right here, and here after our h1, let's say we got another button here, which has this +1, and inside of this, we got this onClick, and we got our arrow function right here as our handler. And what we want to do is we want to set state to state +1. Now, if we clear our console here and use this right here, our state is going to increment by 1 level, but nothing is going to change. And our useEffect is not going to change too, because we're not remounting our component. But if we change anything in our code, you can see our useEffect is going to print this test word into the console. So if we again change anything here, it's going to run. But if we do this, nothing else happens. But we can tell our application to run useEffect when our state has changed. So what we're going to do is to pass the name of the thing that we want right here, and when this thing is going to change, our useEffect is going to run. Now you can see if we click this +1, it's going to run again. And doesn't matter how many times we want to click this, again this is going on. And of course, we can have multiple things. For example, let's say here we got two different use state, one for example, the name, and let's say we want to have another use state, but this time for the score. Now here in our console log, we want to have this name right here, and we add this string of got the score of, and here we're going to pass the score that we had earlier. And if we correct these items here too, so here we don't want this to be state. Actually, we want to use this set score here and make score +1. Let's give the score the value of 0 at first. And let's say here we got two other buttons. For example, let's say this is going to be with the name of Jack, and this one is going to be with the name of this Tom. And of course, we need to pass these items right here, but pay attention not to set a score, but to the set name. And here we're going to have our Jack just like this here, and our Tom right here. But pay attention, we need to have the base value here too. So let's say we want to have this cat as our starter. And now if we change this state that we had earlier right here to the name, for example, you can see we got our items right here and we got the result of Ted got the score of 0. Actually, we don't need this double columns here too. And because we're checking for the name, if we increment the score right here, nothing happens. But if we change the name here, you can see we got this result coming up, which this time is going to be this Jack. If we increment our score, let's say little, and then if we click on Tom, you can see we got this result of Tom got the score of 8. If we increment again, nothing happens. But if we change that to the Jack, you can see we got this result. And pay attention, this is going to work like this, that our useEffect is looking and waiting for this name state that we have created right here to change. And when this has changed, this is going to run. Of course, we can do the same thing with score too. So let's refresh our web page. So we got our empty console right here. Now if we click this +1 to increment our score, you can see we got this Ted got a score of 1. If we click again, we got this result of 2. But if we change our name to Jack, nothing is going to happen. And if we increment our score again, we got the new result here. And we can do the same thing with this Tom too, and we got these results. But another cool way about this thing that we got right here is we can run our useEffect by not only one state right here, but actually we can have both of the name and score. And what this does, our useEffect function is going to be run when our name or our score state has changed. So let's say here at first we refresh, we got this Ted got a score of 0. Now if we use this +1 to change the score, we got this result, and if we change the name, we got this result here too. Pay attention, we can do the same thing as many times as we want with the score because each one is different and adding one value to the previous one, and this is going to run. But if we click, for example, in this case, our name currently is Tom. If we click this Jack, it's going to run once, but because if we click this Jack again, our name is not going to change to any other values, so it's still not changed and our useEffect is not going to run. And common mistakes in useEffects are missing the dependency array that you see we have right here, and forgetting this can lead to effects running unnecessarily after every render. And the other one is infinite loops, which can be caused by setting the state inside an effect without proper dependencies. So pay attention to these items. And one of the best uses of this useEffect is going to be when we want to fetch data from some API, which we're going to have in the next parts. So stay tuned for the next video, which we're going to talk about forms in React and how we can actually use our forms to log in, sign up, or other things in our web page. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button to catch that video too, as well as the video we're going to have about fetching data in our useEffect. And if this video was helpful, please give a like and drop any questions that you might have in the comments. See you in the next video.